Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 1st. This week, if you want to catch me live, I go live every single day at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But Scorpio, let's see what is going on for you. You start off with the change card, and pretty much every single water sign has had something about change in the readings. So that's interesting. This looks amazing. All water sign readings have been very good this week. You have the Sun, amazing. The Two of Cups, amazing. So let's keep this going. Six of Swords, improvements. So let's keep it going here. And you have the Eight of Pentacles. I think Pisces had the Eight of Pentacles as well. So definitely something to keep in mind. But let's see what we have for you here, Scorpio people. You have the Soulmates card as well, which is nice. So it could be love. You start off with this change card, if I can pick it up. So I feel like some of you could be going through a change or transformation at this time. To me, it looks like where you put your energy in this first row. We're going to talk about this in just a second, but I feel like this change is going to lead to major improvements in your life. Also, at the end, by the way, Scorpio, we're going to be clarifying with the good old Lenormand deck here. But you have the Sun, the Two of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles in your first row here. This is definitely like enlightenment, you realizing something here. I feel like something is catching your attention in this first row, and it definitely could be love. That Two of Cups is like a perfect match. So I feel like for some of you, this could be a perfect match in love. For others, this could be you moving on from a soulmate. This is very, very positive. And some people, people always say this to me. Every time I say that a breakup could be positive, I'm always like, and someone always gets mad at me. And I'm always like, what you don't realize is that like the next person coming in for you could be so much more, so much better that, of course it's going to show up as positive in a reading. This is what I think people don't realize about tarot is like just because there's like positive cards doesn't mean that it's going to feel good or that it's going to be positive, even though this is extremely positive for you. I feel like it is a good thing. So some of you, I feel like there could be a separation here, mostly because of this row here. We're going to talk about the rows at the end, but you have the Six of Pentacles, Six of Swords, moving on, Two of Swords, needing to make a head over heart decision. I would watch Pisces reading because I would say, especially if you're dating a Pisces, or especially if you've been like if you're broken up from a Pisces or something like that, because this to me kind of looks like a head over heart decision with a soulmate or something like that. Again, we're not meant to stay with our soulmates sometimes. We're meant to move on sometimes as well. It's for like learning or whatever. It's funny because on this, I have a little clock behind this camera, and it's 333 as I'm saying that as well, Scorpio. For others, like I said, I feel like you could just, if you're not in a relationship, I think you could be planting seeds with this Six of Pentacles to get into a relationship. Two of Cups, perfect match. And the Sun, obviously celebrations, happiness. The other thing I will say is that Two of Cups to me can represent stepping stone soulmates. Two of Cups to me can represent someone where it's like we feel a very deep connection to them, and maybe we feel like they're a soulmate, but maybe they're just a stepping stone soulmate. They're meant to show us something else, or they're meant to help us move on to the next person. Next, you have the Owl Spirit. It says you see clearly now. So again, I feel like some of you could be walking away from a situation because maybe you see clearly what it is for you. For others, I feel like this could be like work or business related, and I feel like you could be seeing clearly in that situation. In this row, you have the King of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and the Moon. Obviously, every single water sign, Cancer and Pisces, both had the Moon in their center row. So that's kind of weird. But this could represent needing to, like, I feel like a lot of you are moving on from something here, is what I'd say to you, Scorpio. I feel like you could be leaving behind some fears or moving on from like a difficult part of your journey. That King of Pentacles, I feel like is saying you're gathering a lot of resources, which is nice. You also, very interesting, you have this mentor card here, Scorpio, as your center card. This is your center card, the mentor card. And that kind of represents being a mentor, or represents you kind of like mentoring other people. And you have the Six of Swords here as your center card. The Six of Swords, there is always this guy in the boat here, and he kind of represents like a guide, someone who goes across the choppy waters and someone who comes back through the choppy waters. He is guiding people through the difficult times. So in a lot of ways, I feel like this is saying that some of you could be helping other people through difficult times. This can say that maybe you have an experience that you should be sharing to help other people. Or maybe it says you will be sharing your experience with other people, and this will be helping them like greatly. For others, again, you could be going through some fears, or you could be having some worries here. I also look at the King of Pentacles also as a guide. So I feel like for some of you, again, you could be going through some difficult times here. But I feel like there is going to be a lot of success for you here as well, Scorpio. And so, again, I would just keep pushing. But I feel like if you're having hard times with that moon card here, if you're dealing with fears, I feel like finding a mentor or finding someone who like knows more than you, or someone who can show you like what to do in situations, I feel like that is kind of your answer. Next, you have the soulmates card here, Scorpio. So I feel like for some of you, you could be finding a soulmate, or you have found a soulmate with this card. So I definitely like that. For others, this would definitely be like moving on from a soulmate, if I'm being honest with you. Two of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I feel like some of you could be kind of like moving on from a soulmate here. So again, in this row, you have the Two of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. The Two of Swords is like needing to make a head over heart decision. And it can also represent needing to make an emotional decision as well. So there's water here, and there's also rocks here as well. It's kind of like emotionally knowing that you need to do something, and those rocks represent, like pain that you could be feeling if you make some sort of decision in your life to like walk away from someone, or if you decide to break up with somebody. But at the same time, it's kind of like needing to make that choice. For you, I really feel like this is talking about, I really feel like it's saying the right choice. Look, in this top row here, you have the Sun. You also have the King of Pentacles. This is like, I feel like that Sun is saying like, you know the right decision to make with this Two of Swords, whatever difficult choice you're trying to make. The Eight of Pentacles is like putting the work in here. So I feel like in a lot of ways, it's like maybe you have learned from a stepping stone soulmate is what this reading is saying. To me, again, going back to this Two of Cups here, Scorpio, like a stepping stone soulmate, the reason we feel so connected to a stepping stone soulmate is because like usually it's someone who is like a reflection of us, but maybe like 5 or 10 years ago. Usually a stepping stone soulmate will come into our lives, and maybe they will be having similar experiences, life experiences that we had like 5 years ago. So we're like, wow, this person, I really have a connection with them because it's like they're going through the same thing I did, or they're having similar experiences, or they're going through a similar difficulty or challenge or whatever. And so that's why we feel a deep connection with stepping stone soulmates. But really, they come into our lives to remind us of the times that we went through, of the things that we went through, and like why we went through it and all this other stuff. So I definitely feel like some of you could be dealing with that. You could be dealing with that like stepping stone soulmate type situation. If you're not interested in love here, I feel like this could also represent needing to work on something you desire with this Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands to me says we could have very strong desires to work on something like in business or work. And it's like if we do it, we will become very successful. So that's pretty interesting here for you, Scorpio. Sorry, I just want to make sure that I'm still recording. So hold on one second, Scorpio. But let's see what we get here clarifying this. So Scorpio, between the Sun and the King of Pentacles, you have the Lily. This is the King of Spades in the playing cards, and it's just a card of spirituality and being very spiritual. So I feel like some of you, this is enlightenment. Also another card of the Mentor, by the way. So I do feel like there are either people or a person that could help you this week. If you need any help, like legally or physically with your health or anything, this card says find an expert. It says an expert will solve your problems very, very quickly. And again, this shows up like multiple times. Next, between the Two of Cups and the Six of Swords, you have the Gentleman. This is the Ace of Hearts. So definitely could be love coming in for you at this time. No, like Pisces and Fire and Earth stand out to me here. So it could be any sign. This is just a general reading, but it could be like a Pisces or a fire sign or an earth sign that's coming in for you, but definitely could be love. This is like a card of the home as well. So a lot of you could be obviously spending time at home, coronavirus, right? Next, between the Six of Pentacles and this Moon card, you have the Ace of Clubs. Love it. This is a card of marriage. I would definitely watch the Pisces reading if you are dating a Pisces or if you're with a Pisces. Pisces had the same card show up in their reading, a different deck as well. People always ask me, like, are the cards sticking when cards repeat? I use a different deck for every single reading I do, so no. But you have the Ace of Clubs here, and the Ace of Clubs is a card of marriage. So I feel like for some of you, this could be getting married, or it could be an engagement. For others, it could be like fears about a commitment with that Moon card and that Six of Pentacles. It's like maybe you're wanting to commit to someone, But with the Six of Pentacles, it's like you're trying to decide, are they going to put in enough work into the relationship or not? I feel like a little bit of a prove it energy here as far as love is concerned. So some of you might be in a relationship and you're like, you want the person to prove that they actually like are going to put the work in. Next, between this King of Pentacles and this Two of Swords, you have the Stork. This card is the Queen of Hearts in the playing card reading system. It can represent love, of course. It's like a very kind, caring, nurturing energy as well. It can also represent children. So maybe some of you are going through a divorce, whatever. Maybe there are children involved. But on top of that, it can also just represent travel. And I do feel travel here. I feel like some of you maybe want to travel, or you're like trying to decide whether or not you want to move with that Two of Swords. Next, between this Six of Swords here and this Eight of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Clubs. This card is called the Snake, and it's a card of seduction. So it can be a card of that says like, be careful of tricky people, be careful of player-like energy here with this Knight of Wands. It can also be a good card as well. With the Eight of Pentacles here, it could say that you are working on something attractive. And this doesn't mean you necessarily. It could be. You could be working on yourself, trying to become more attractive. But usually it could be like a project or a business. It's like you're working on attracting people into something. So if you're doing that, really good card for you for appearances. And finally, between the Moon here and this Knight of Wands, you have this Diviner card here. Yeah, you have the Tower as well. The Diviner card thing, it's not a real Lenormand card. It's just this deck has added this card in. It just represents like a fortune teller or something like that. So some of you could be watching tarot videos on YouTube, which obviously if you made it to this point, you are. And the Tower, it's not like the Tower and the Tarot. The Tower, to me, can represent momentum. So I do feel like some of you could be building momentum here in your life. But I want to ask for an outcome as well. You have the Bouquet here, so it definitely could be like a gift coming in for you. Yeah, Seven of Clubs. Seven of Clubs is like slow progress in your life. So, to me, the Seven of Clubs is called the Mice. It's not a bad card. Well, some people read it as a very bad card in the Lenormand, but to me, it's just like a card of slow progress. I feel like you're like trying to work towards something here, obviously, which has kind of like come up here in your reading. So very interesting reading. I do feel like saying to you, Scorpio, that appearances are going to be very important to you. It's just standing out. It's jumping into my head here at the end. You have the Sun, you have this Queen of Clubs, the Moon, and you also have the Knight of Wands. To me, this is kind of like saying, make sure if someone tells you something, make sure they walk the walk. Make sure they don't just talk the talk, right? So I feel like some of you really need to pay attention to how things appear. Look at this. You have the Owl Spirit. You see clearly now. There's an owl on this card here, Scorpio as well, the Mentor card. So I feel like some of you need to make sure that someone truly walks the walk and doesn't just talk the talk. This could be someone who claims to be a mentor as well. It's like maybe somebody's coming in claiming to be a teacher, claiming to be a guru or whatever. But again, maybe, I always tell people, don't listen to me, right? I think that we need to be careful of people who put the guru title on themselves, because that can be dangerous. So that's what I'd say here. This row is very interesting. You have two sixes. I love two sixes. Two sixes is like being on the right path, moving in the right direction. But this is kind of like a moving on row. This is kind of saying like Six of Pentacles is not enough. It's like, and that's why you could be moving on from something. It could be a relationship, could also be a job as well. Like Six of Pentacles is just enough energy to keep you interested in something, whether it's a job, a business, a relationship, whatever. Six of Swords is like saying, you know what, I've learned from this situation and now it's time to move on. Again, Six of Swords is a rite of passage. And like I said, you have all these cards here that kind of say stepping stone, soulmate, or having learned something in the past. So it's kind of like a one message reading, which all water signs readings have been. Whether you're dealing with love or business or health or spirituality, it's like you are kind of like moving on to the next thing in your life. I feel like this is kind of like an upgrade reading in a lot of ways, because it's like you are realizing that something no longer serves you with this Six of Pentacles, I feel, and that Six of Swords is like saying you went through a rite of passage, you went through a lot of difficulties and challenges. Two of Swords is like needing to move away from the past life, which all three water signs have had this week, needing to move on to something new. So like I said, it could be love, it might be something else as well, but pretty interesting reading here, Scorpio. So thank you for watching, really appreciate it, and definitely enjoy your week.